Kermit is great. Wait. We need to see that. Kermit is #1 Muppet, guys. Kermit is #1 Muppet. What a great Muppet. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at this. This guy's a walking helmet. #1 Muppet. Perfect. The Muppet helmet. This is now the Muppet helmet. From now on, this is the Muppet helmet. There's nothing you can do to stop me from calling it. I mean, if that's not a Muppet, I don't know what is. My gosh, what did I just find? Man, look at this. Look at this. That screams evil boss. That's like Dark Souls right there. Ooh, that face. He's not messing around. He's not messing around. Man, I love the frogmouth helmet. What can I say? Frogmouth helmet is great. Frogmouth helmets, I don't know what it is. I just love them. It's my favorite. Every time I play a Dark Souls and I see an enemy, whether it be, I don't think bosses can bosses drop the helmets? I don't know, but sometimes enemies do have a frogmouth helmet, depending on which Dark Soul you play in which area. And then when I see one of those, I just stop and ditch 10 hours repeating that area until they drop it. That's just how it is. So basically, whenever I can, in Dark Souls, I try to get a frogmouth helmet. And actually, I was playing Elden Ring the other day, and I got to this area where there is an enemy that is wearing a helmet that kind of looks like I'll see if I can find it for you. Kind of looks like a frogmouth, but then it also has a cut in the middle, so it's like a merging between the frogmouth and the barbute. And since I love both, I'm like, ooh, I need that. And I've been just dying over and over again because I'm not that good with Souls games. Just because I need to kill that enemy. Still glory to Pompey. But check this out. So this image here, and it shows you a frogmouth, and then it shows you how the stuff works in the liner. That is exactly what the liner inside my frogmouth looks like. Exactly like this. That's what it looks like. In fact, my armorer did a fantastic job recreating this because it's exactly what it looks like. Like without this whole liner, which is detachable, that's why you have all of these points here. If you disconnect all of these, you can remove the entire liner. And if you disconnect the liner, I wouldn't be able to wear the frogmouth anymore. That's what's crazy. Like, you need the liner. I personally think every medieval helmet had a liner. That's what I think. Because I can't think of one single museum medieval helmet either doesn't have a liner or doesn't have the connections for a liner. And you can clearly see that there was a liner installed. It's more the claustrophobia inside the frogmouth than it is. Like, you can breathe. And you do get some air from this. It's not just for tournaments, though. That's what I used to say. But then by looking at iconography, you will find frogmouths used in war. Usually, there are versions of the frogmouth. Like, for instance, with this kind of connector, we can safely say this was only used for a joust. But there are early types of frogmouths that are 100% used for war. You know, for those people who want more protection. In that case, I don't think that they were connecting them to the breastplate. I think they were wearing them slightly above. Like, you basically create a little gap so that you can actually turn your head, because if the helmet actually rests entirely on your shoulders and is then connected, yeah, then it's a problem turning around, and for war it wouldn't be great. But there is a lot of iconography with frogmouths used in combat, in actual combat. Of course, again, it depends on the frogmouths. There will be frogmouths that are 100% specialized jousting gear, and you would not take it to war. But as an umbrella term, including all versions of frogmouths, some were absolutely used in war. Yeah. Yeah, you can't. I tried having a coffee through the frogmouth mouth, and it's impossible. It's too far away from the mouth, from the actual mouth, because the frogmouth's mouth is at the height of your eyes for obvious reasons. So it doesn't work. I tried. Maybe with a straw I could do it, though. I'll have to test it. I'm going to test it one of these days. Can you drink using a straw through a frogmouth? And then if it rains, I'll try and see if I can drink the water. If the water gets in, I'll test that as well. A very bendy straw, Metatron pedanticus. Ooh, could you imagine taking a picture for a I wish it wasn't like illegal, because it is. You need to show your face. But could you imagine if your picture on the passport was the frogmouth helmet? I would love it. I would absolutely love it. It would give you a lot of protection, the frogmouth in war. So like if you're a man who wants more protection, that would actually be pretty decent. But would I choose it? No, I would rather, for war, I would use something with a visor. That's what I would use. Also, the one I have is very heavy. So something for war, maybe I would totally see it being a little lighter. The one I have, I'm going to show you. This is a beast. This is a beast. So look at this thing. So yeah, that's a monster of a helmet. And as you can see, in the inside, we have all of the liner, which provides you some decent padding, but also allows you to basically wear it more comfortably. It is a tank. And then all of these connections here that you see are for pointing the liner. So if I undo all of these, then you can remove the liner. That's basically. So this one is more for jousting, but you could wear it for war. It's just that it's kind of heavy. It's on the heavy side because it's providing very good protection from shock. Could you wear it for war? Yeah. But maybe I would personally prefer an Armet. I would personally prefer an Armet with a visor. Man, today we're into helmets. Might as well show you the Armet. Although the Armet I have is a Maximilian, but I have another Armet in the making that should arrive soon. I think they already sent it. Anyways, for now we got this. It's a Maximilian. Very dark soul, isn't it? It's very dark soul. And that's what I like. The fact that it gives me very good protection. Not as good as that, but it does still give good protection. And then if something happens and I need to breathe, you lift the visor, you look around, you breathe a little bit. Hopefully you don't get an arrow in the face. And then if you see the enemies coming forward or you're going for another charge, boom, you get your protection again. And it's really badass. I love this helmet. It's based on an example, an excellent example at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, this one here. And I have another coming soon, and when it arrives, I'll have an unboxing and first impression on Patreon, like I always do. All of my unboxings are on Patreon, but then I will also show it here afterwards. Can you show us a photo of the Armet you ordered? Absolutely, yes, I'll show you a photo. Just give me 1 second, because I believe I have it. I'll show you right now. It's already been done. It's polished and finished. And then, as I say, I'll do the unboxing on Patreon. I'll put it on. I'll test it. I'll compare it with the other helmet. It's going to be fun. But let me see. Where did I put the picture, though? There you go. So I'm going to share my screen now. This is it. This is my new helmet. It's an Armet. As you can see, it's kind of based on examples that are usually used for tourney, specifically for foot combat. And I think it's pretty nice, to be honest, with this as well. Kind of reminds me of reptilians, you know, reminds me of home and Orion and whatnot. But yeah, closed helmet with the way it opens, to be specific, it's a closed helm rather than an Armet. But since people in the medieval period called both types of helmets Armets, because Armets open like this, right? Let me tell you this. So Armets, technically, the way we use it now, are the helmets that open like this. Closed helms are the ones that are solid in the front, that they open like this. Okay, that's the only difference between visor is going to look the same, the shape is going to look the same. That's the only differentiation, but it is not a medieval differentiation. All closed helms were called Armets in period, which is why I don't particularly care to call this an Armet. But this is it. That's the helmet. Best looking helmet is the Hound Skull. Yeah, not for me. I like Hound Skulls, but it's pretty low when it comes to like performance-wise. It's very good because again, it's a visored helmet and the pointy mouth is pretty good for deflecting. But the looks, I'm not a huge fan of the. I mean, I like it only because it looks like so distinctively medieval that it's cool. But I wouldn't wear it. Like I would not choose it ever. So just one of those things, I suppose. Personal preference. It may be a rude question, but how does a knight answer nature's call if he wears plate armor in battle? Well, you just remove the... Similarly to what you do with your regular clothing. Like, for instance, I don't have to take off my shirt if I need to answer nature's call. So you just remove those elements of armor that are required for you to be able to answer nature's call. And I imagine if you're in the middle of battle, like unless it's an emergency, you'll just have to keep it and just wait. And if it is an emergency, at that point, just go over yourself. I mean, it is what it is. If you're being attacked, then there's nothing else you can do. And you really can't. But then again, normally I would imagine, yeah, either if it's a situation where you don't have to remove the entire armor. You just remove the parts that are important and then keep everything else and then put everything back up. That's what you do. Oh, stroke or polish? Yes, yeah. You need to polish the helmets. Absolutely. I put the oil because I don't take them out much, and this area here where I live in the US is not too bad when it comes to um, humidity. I actually maybe once every 2 weeks or even 3 weeks sometimes. I will reapply a coating of oil if I've touched them, but if I don't touch them, they can stay like that for a month. It's not a big deal. But in back in Italy, in Sicily, being it's an island, so it's very humid. I had to reapply the oil more often, particularly because I was taking the helmets out a lot. I mean, look at this. Look at this, guys.
It's so shiny.
It is very shiny. I always tell them I want it pearl polished.
Oh yeah.
Pearl polished. Not every medieval helmet would have been, like many would have been matte finish, but the most expensive one for the rich would have looked like this, like for
Well,
mounted
the shiny is
nobility.
definitely the way to go.
Oh, I agree, 100%. But it was to show off their wealth because they wanted people to know on the battlefield who that guy is rich, that guy is noble. They wanted it to know because on one hand, it's good on your side because the king or other nobility looks at you and you're like, oh, this guy is important. I want to be a friend with him. And it's good as a life insurance because people on the other side know that you're rich and so they are more likely to kidnap you for ransom than to kill you.
Wow.
That's how medieval people did it.
Hashtag armor up, Kinsey.